Fine, except for where it's leaking.
Is it still leaking?
They came and looked at it.
It would show up now. But they are gonna come back and check it out.
They've already been back. It was leaking in a spot that it wasn't before.
It is now leaking in the new spot, you say?
The last time I had it come.
Okay, it hasn't leaked since then.
No, we're good.
Is it leaking around something? Oh, just.
Seam that runs through it.
No, but I feel like I've heard that name.
They don't realize how much.
Well, we're not.
Okay.
We are at 7:00, sir.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Roll call, please, Nancy.
Rask.
Here.
Stufflebeam.
Here.
Boggs.
Here.
Fleming.
Here.
Black.
Here.
Thank you.
You've all had a chance to look at the minutes of the last meeting, February 7th. I would entertain a motion to approve those minutes or a correction. As soon as someone is ready.
So.
Motion by Chuck to approve, second by Ken.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Correspondence, please, Rollin.
I have two correspondence. One was a thank you, and it is thank you sincerely for sharing our sorrow. Your kindness is deeply appreciated and will always be remembered. Thank you for the lovely plant. We'll always remember your kindness. And that came from the family of Wayne Kirsch and Linda.
Thank you.
The next communication I have is in care of the mayor and the city council. It's from the Farmington Central Academic Foundation. We thank you for your continuing support of the Farmington Central Academic Foundation. Your previous $1,000 scholarships have been presented to deserving graduating seniors. We hope to count on your generosity once again. Our annual report is enclosed. As you know, the cost of higher education has increased significantly. Few high school graduates can afford these kinds of educational expenses without some financial assistance. Since 1989, we have presented 1,347 scholarships with a cumulative value of over $1,158,400, but only with the support of people like you. The award ceremony will be in person this year. Please let us know who from the city will be available to make the presentation. The date scheduled for the senior award night is Thursday, April 28th, 2022 at 6 p.m. at the high school auditorium. Thank you for your support. Sincerely, Kathleen Higgs, oh, excuse me. We have always supported a academic scholarship on the condition that they are a resident of the city of Farmington.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we continue to support the Farmington Central Academic Foundation with a $1,000 donation.
Thank you very much. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Chuck. All in favor? Roll call, please, Nancy.
Stufflebeam,
Yes.
Boggs,
Yes.
Fleming,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Brass.
Yes.
Thank you, Jonah.
Thank you. Thank you, Ron.
That's all the communications that I have.
Okay. It's that time of the meeting when we have general comments. General comment period, if anybody would like to offer any now, and if not, there'll be an opportunity later. Andy?
This comment, I would like to ask the city council, Dave, we haven't had lessons for the kids during Easter, and I was approached by the guy that was the assistant manager at McDonald's and the manager at McDonald's, if we're gonna go together and have an Easter egg hunt, April 16th, if we could use Jacobs Park for that.
Yeah, great for me, I think it's wonderful.
I thought you were gonna ask for money.
I will later.
Well, let's do the money part now.
And also, if the city would like to donate money for, what we're planning on is each age group doing a drawing for boy and girls bike. I just got off the phone with Mike Newton, he's the general manager. He told me he would help out with getting me set up on the bikes.
Just, can you give us an idea of the dollar amount?
I'd have to go in, but like I said, this was just getting things started on it, and it's
Okay, we
gonna
have time
be
to
a
donate.
hurry.
We have time to donate. next
Yeah, it's
month.
not till April
Okay, all right,
16th.
okay. Thank you.
How many age groups do you have?
Oh, I spoke with Mike McCloskey, he does cans. I'm not gonna do nearly what he does, because he does like 30,000 eggs. Matter of fact, I've already bought 1,000 myself, so we've had, which I'm probably guessing maybe a couple thousand eggs probably get us by. Age group wise, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly 6.
So maybe.
Then the 6 was gonna be the 21 and over.
What are in those eggs?
Oxygen. But I thought I would ask so I can get this going.
Yeah, it sounds like you're okay with the park. By all
Yeah,
means.
park great, we've done it in the past with the nose and with,
Mike.
somebody else used to do it, so.
Okay, thank you, Andy, very much. Come back to us. Thank you. Any other comments from the audience? Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, I'm sorry.
yeah, I got a comment to make. I had to come in and see Rollin the other day because instead of snow plowing our roads, they decided to shove your snow from the roads up into my off-street parking right up against my door. Now, if anybody hasn't noticed, last month or so, I haven't been in here, I haven't been messing with nobody, I haven't done nothing. And since the time of this, I can prove that Jennifer Ong on video messing with my dogs. I can prove that Matt Ong comes over and decides to wake me and my neighbors up at 5 o'clock in the morning, banging his damn snow blade, which he did get a ticket. I know that the chief gave him a ticket. I really hope that he is going to be prosecuted this time. His last ticket, y'all remember, got dropped. Nobody did nothing. Now, I wake up the other morning to go and leave, and I got 4.5 foot of snow pushed up against my door in my truck. I've been here since 2014. I've never had any problems. They've always pushed it up by the stop sign, by where I used to have my nice little burn, or push it back, you know, where I put my garbage cans or whatever. But there is no reason for me to keep getting bullied. Because I got a lawsuit against you guys. You know, these little cheap jabs that you guys are doing, I'm getting kind of really tired of it. And now me and your lawyer, I don't know how much you guys spend on him per hour, but I guarantee you, I spoke to him for like 1 hour and 20 minutes last Friday. Because I gave all day. I came up and talked to Robin first thing in the morning. All I had to do was go move what they put up against my truck. I moved my truck. So they had more than enough room to move it. There's no excuse for it. I pay taxes too, but no, nobody with our maintenance can get off their lazy ass and come and move that. So yeah, and I told your attorney there's gonna be retaliation. I'm tired of all these little jabs to me. Look, I don't want to fucking live here. You guys know I don't want to live here. You better know that I don't want to live here. This is the most crooked, hillbilly freaking town I've ever seen in my life. And I've lived in a lot of places, especially being in the Army. Look, I'm not going to sell you guys my rights. I'll sell you my house. It's location, location, location. But I'm tired of this. If you guys want to keep pulling the bull, you're going to get horned. And it's going to be more than once. Because I'll tell you what, I don't have to sell you my house. I can very easily turn it into the next Farmington adult sex toy shop. And I'm sure the Alms are going to love that. And I'm sure the people across the street will love that. But guess what? As much evidence that I have against you guys of what you allow happen in here, that'll just be another lawsuit waiting to happen. Let's just finish this. That's all I'm saying. I want the hell out of here. You guys surely don't want me here because you don't want everybody to know all the crooked shit that goes on here. And it seems like I'm the only person that can find me. Because I'll tell you what, today alone, I've had over 20 texts telling me what a great job I'm doing. I'm tired of it. I expect to be treated like everybody else, and that's what I've brought up 1,000,000 times. Not only me, everybody should be treated the same, and we're not. So, and if any of you all have any questions, instead of running to Rollin or running to the mayor, why don't you call your own attorney? Because I've already talked to him. He hasn't talked to any of them. So none of you really know what's going on until you talk to the attorney. Not him. No offense, kid. Talk to your attorney. He knows you're going to lose. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He knows it. That's why he is pushing for this. And I said it's real plain and simple. I'm not asking for a shitload of demands. Not like you guys. 8 pages. Which a judge, and he already knows, a judge will never, ever, ever turn around and say that I should give up one right to fix this. No way. But none of you would know this because I know nobody's telling you what's actually going on. Call your attorney. Just talk to him. Get a briefing. 10 minutes, whatever. He talks a lot faster than I do. I'm sure for as much as he charges you guys. Because I guarantee you, in the last 3 weeks, I ran up your bill easily. 25, $3,000, easily. Just on phone calls. That's pretty ridiculous. I want the hell out of here. I don't want to be here in a place that is so corrupt that nothing can get done except what you want to be done, not what the people want to be done. That's so corrupt that only a handful of people can be on a board and stuff. 2,400 people, the same people keep going. Let's see. He's not only the mayor, but he's on the economics board. You know, he's not only the city manager, oh, but he's also the, building inspector. What else are they? How much more extra are they getting on top? That's what people gotta think. And it's the same people that get voted in, or their family members that get voted in. All to make money. And if everybody has not realized it yet, generally everything revolves around the bank department. Kind of funny. And there's more than enough evidence to prove it. Nobody here wants to do it. You guys don't even have a damn ethics committee. I can't believe it. Of all the stupid committees that you have, you don't have an ethics committee.
Aaron, your 5 minutes is beyond,
If I know
please.
it's in the next 5 minutes, I can finish.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Dave, Public Works report, please.
Anybody have any questions before I start in? Okay, we did have one major sewer lateral repair last week. Didn't cost us too much, but it was pretty messy with all the snow, et cetera, et cetera. The guys did a wonderful job plowing snow through all the storms we've had so far. We've had a lot of snow this year. And Aaron, I'm gonna tell you right now, whatever goes on between you and the city, my guys have nothing to do with pushing snow up on your property. Don't interrupt me. It happened.
Don't you dare talk to me like that.
Yes, you were gonna
No,
interrupt
fuck
me. I
you.
don't wanna
Fuck
be
you.
interrupted.
Don't you dare fucking talk to me like that.
Yes, I can, because I got the floor.
I don't give a fuck what you got. Don't talk to me
Are you
like
that arrogant? Are you really that arrogant?
You damn right.
Jesus Christ. Anyway,
Why don't you get the goddamn rack over there on my damn off-street parking like you were supposed to last year?
enough, I'm gonna finish my report.
Yeah. First off.
Yeah, that's right, you should think that.
No qualifications.
All right, enough.
A tree cutter. Oh, makes fucking $1 zillion.
Aaron, let me finish.
Can
Aaron,
I finish
Aaron,
my
enough.
comments here? Have nothing to do with you.
That's okay, I'll see mine.
All right, full bearers, we had a lot of them in the cemetery this year. That's real tough in the winter time, frozen ground, 18, 20 inches of frost. It was a tough winter. So the guys been doing good with plowing snow, taking care of the cemetery. As far as equipment wise, we're doing pretty good. Our first major snowstorm we did have issues with the 2-ton and some repairs that are happening to the rear end of it. We haven't got it back yet. Hopefully we get it back before too long. And then I am getting bids on a new backhoe. So when I get numbers in, I will bring them to the council. So. Questions? All right. Thank you.
Motion to approve the Public Works report.
So moved.
Motion by Chuck, seconded by
Second.
Nate. Thank you very much. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Relevant hit report. Okay.
As of the end of January, the beginning balance was $608,286.56. We had one payment for the Moose Lodge. That was a redevelopment program, and we had 2 residential. The ending balance as of this afternoon is $594,303.31.
Thank you very much. Old business, Rollin?
The first item we have is an update and a discussion on the corridor planning. And had hoped to have given the floor to Mr. Rose, and he is absent this evening, so.
So I'll do my best without Dave here. We received bids from 3 different firms for the corridor study. We met as a group to try to ferret those out and see what we wanted to do next. We've got a couple people, fortunately Kathy Brown and Cole McDaniel, who are looking into some other sources of funding, maybe through the county board, maybe through a couple other agencies that we deal with. If we can get 10,000 matching funds from them, we're just looking into it, and I don't have the information. I don't know what anybody's done yet, if anything on that, because we just met last week. We're talking about going back to 2 of these 3 firms who gave us quotes and seeing if we couldn't piecemeal some things out, ask them to maybe scale down the scope of their study so that it would be even more pertinent to Farmington. Anything else, Cassandra?
Well, I just think the overall meeting and the bids coming back, I think they were great options, but I think we all agree they were much higher priced options than what we had originally talked about. And I think we need to be very specific on what we're trying to get out of them. Are you asking for my personal opinion? With that?
You're welcome to give that anytime you like.
Well, it was just in the idea that I think these corridor studies are very important. Looking at the town and evaluating and getting everyone involved is very important. But I think with the resources Farmington has, and the list of things we want to do and improve, I think we should start this process on our own without those costs in the guidance or from the guidance of those companies. So then we can build upon it. But we could do some of that initial legwork in getting the community involved and responses and setting all of that up to present them the information, that then the money that we're spending with them, which is a high dollar price, we get more out of it. Because right now they're spending a lot of time, which costs a lot of money, to get the public's opinion of what they want and what businesses are here, what's not here. All of the basic data information that we could do that work without that cost and present it with them so we can get more out of the money we're going to spend with them on the end result.
I agree. I think once we know what their particular questions are, that we can get the high school students, for instance, involved with a lot of the survey work that we could do here instead of them. So I concur with that. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes going forward.
I presented to all the city council all 3 copies of it, and we need to regroup where we're at and what we kind of think we need to have. And in conjunction with it is to look at the comprehensive plan upgrade in conjunction with this too. So we got a lot of work ahead of us. Anybody got any questions on the corridor? James?
Can I ask a question there?
Mm-hmm.
Is this something that we can maybe draft something and put it out there for public feedback
Sure.
in what they want and the involvement they would want, so we can at least start getting public opinion? Because I think that's part of this whole decision-making process. When we originally started this study, it was to look at the options of the city building and the idea of a community center. But then this whole package and everything they're presenting is looking at the town as an overall functioning town and things that are missing and could be improved or how we get there. But I think if we can come up with some of those questions and put it out there to the public and get that feedback,
Sure.
that will help us in presenting that to those companies So they can really put a narrowed down number on that and be able to know what they're piecemealing out of those studies. I would be happy to start that if it's open to you guys responding and
We'll see where we're at with Cole and with Kathy bringing some other information that they talked about at that meeting. We haven't heard anything out of, but yeah.
were they bringing more options in besides looking at different funding options?
Kathy has done some other research and she's getting more document for us, other ideas that we didn't discuss.
Okay.
So I'll be in touch.
Has there been any discussion or thought given to removing the historical building requirements? So maybe somebody would build on O'Brien's lot? Or is it still going to have to be a two-story historical type building?
It has to be a replacement of the existing building the way it was built. And that was a one-story building.
Good. Okay.
But to answer your first question, there's been no change in the story.
Well, I just thought if someone was going to have to put a two-story building on that property, it was going to be expensive and what benefit would be for two-story. Thank you.
The next item I have under old business is a discussion, possible action on the Hannah City Rails to Trails. And Mayor has information from.
I don't have a lot more news other than what I had last week. The contract has been negotiated and has passed the Hannah City Village Board and their attorney. Basically, Fred Winteroff wants to know if our council concurs with the ideas that have been put forth as to the suggested items on the agreement between Peoria County, Hannah City, and Farmington. And that being the same list that I think Rollin gave you another copy of tonight that you had a couple weeks ago. Such as each governmental body will appoint one or more members to the Trail Commission, that we share in the expenses, that that the commission board will present a budget to each entity annually, and those types of things. So we didn't really talk about that last time, but if anybody has any problems with those items, I think we should talk through them, or else let Fred know that we are or are not in concurrence with the items. This is not approving an agreement. It's just letting him know that we are still prepared to go forward, if that's the case.
Were we still gonna seek a lawyer?
That's another thing, thank you very much. This last Friday/Monday, the first attorney that I had mentioned 2 weeks ago was not able to do it. So I contacted another one last Friday, and he said that he would do it. He has the contract. He hasn't gotten back to me yet, but he said he was going to read the contract between the time I got it to him Friday night and this week and get back to us. But he knows the other attorney involved from Hannah City. He seems very willing to help us. His name is Bill Streeter. So I don't have any kind of document to present to you tonight to employ him, but I anticipate that will come in 2 weeks.
I was absent a couple of meetings ago. And what I'm My question is there, do we have an estimate on what the annual cost would be to maintain?
As many times as I've asked that, Dave, no. It could be 10,000, it could be 15 per community, per entity, right? We already know that based upon the cost of the rails, that we are looking at $105,000 now, a little over that.
So
And,
Kansas City is like the overseer.
The anchor.
They're the
Thank
lead,
you.
they're the lead group. They
Would
have to,
they be the ones that are responsible for, I mean, who's going to do the upkeep and keep everything?
That's what the committee would be.
the committee that will be formed from the three entities.
So it'd be an additional cost for maintenance spread out.
An additional budget item, right, yes. And they've already engaged Farnsworth for a phase one environmental study. They estimate the cost $16,000. So our share of that would be roughly 25, 26%.
On the original agreement that we signed, the dollar amount originally was a little over 2 million.
2,081,000.
Yeah. And the purchase price that they came up with came in at 1.965, $791.50. So actually they got the property purchased lower than what the appraisal was. So
Have they done the appraisal on what it would take to bring this up to par where that bridge is missing and all that?
No, none of that has been done.
Would
No.
they do that before, would council know what that will cost before you guys agree to do it or not do it?
Well, we would approve the cost, we would approve the budget every year. So,
But to get it up to par right now, like there's a big culvert railroad thing missing, are you going to know what that costs to get this up and running before you sign on to be part of it?
no, probably not. That
Well,
part.
what is the environmental study? What is that? That has nothing to do with putting the road in or?
No, it does not. Just if there are any environmental issues along the trail.
Or would it be wise to know what it's gonna cost to construct this?
Well,
before-
I think the conception is that because of the problems with that trestle,
Mhm.
that nobody plans to use that or repair that or do anything with that for
So it
some
won't
time.
go that far.
Probably not. I mean, that's, nobody's ever talked to.
Money
Pardon?
pit, if you don't know what it's gonna cost to start. How can you maintain it for 15 or 20,000 a year you don't know what it's gonna cost to
The
start?
the maintenance items that they're talking about now are signage, barriers, things like that, just very basic maintenance of it, Jane. They're not talking about any resurfacing.
Okay. But no one has any idea what that will cost, even Hannah,
I don't think they do.
you're all
That,
still willing to go ahead.
just to purchase it, yes. The deadline is still March 30th. They filed, I don't think you were here last time. They have filed for another extension.
Well, then will the vote be brought up before, like, the town or just the city council to proceed?
City council.
I'll be there. Thank you.
Does the council want to indicate right now that as far as the terms and conditions that are set forth, that we are in concurrence with those?
Should we wait until we see if the attorney is going to agree to take this on the file and go on with his recommendation?
Oh, okay. We could and we should, but the actual contract, I think is something separate. which is what we need to look at, is something separate from these agreements going forward. So I think Fred just wants to know if we're willing to share the costs going forward, if we're willing to abide by the appointment for the commission and make those decisions as a group.
It almost seems to me like they're changing what they initially said to us. As far as us being responsible for our own track. Within the city limits of Farmington and on the outskirts of the rest of town. Initially, when we had the meetings with Fred, and we came in multiple times, he said, that's free to you guys as far as what you want to do, if you want to do anything to the trail. And now they're saying, we need to get this agreement and commit to $10,000 or $15,000 a year.
Well, yeah, the trouble is, it doesn't really say that. It doesn't say
And-
that.
In this contract, there is an intergovernmental agreement. And as a condition precedent to the closing and prior to the expiration of the feasibility review period, the buyer shall execute a three-party intergovernmental agreement with Peoria County, Illinois, the city of Farmington, and a form acceptable to the buyer in its sole discretion with respect to the operation, maintenance of the property after closing. If the buyer has not entered into an intergovernmental agreement and provided a fully executed copy of such intergovernmental agreement to the seller by the expiration of the feasibility review period, the buyer may terminate this agreement by written notice to the seller. In the event of such termination, this agreement will be without any further force and effect and without further obligation of either party to the other. So, before we get through this feasibility review is when everybody's going to go through it.
We still would have until June 10th.
Yes. So, to answer your question, before the feasibility review period is over, then all three parties as the buyer have a chance to back out of it.
And we are buying this property, not just leasing it, the railroad able to come back and we buy it,
No,
they're just leasing.
it's purchase.
Yeah,
Because before, wasn't it more of a lease?
no.
So the railroad can't ever come back and want it back?
They could, but they'd have to then pay the current price. Fair market.
Okay, so that's what I thought I did.
Okay, now, if you really want to know how much it costs for maintenance, depending on what you're gonna have, if you have mulch, which they do that a lot up in Cook County, okay, for their walking paths, which is a lot cheaper, but in the long expense, if you just buy regular mulch, it gets to be expensive. You got the rubber mulch, yeah, it'll keep down, say, every 5 to 7 years or 10 years compared to every other year, okay? If you're gonna go with asphalt, then call East Peoria, call Peoria, because I put in part of their new trail line out there, up by the Menards. Find out, how do they do security? How do they turn around and maintenance? How much does that cost them? Because if you haven't noticed, we put a brand new road, and I did it, a brand new road over there in Hannah City. And a year later, I was working with another crew, going and filling all the cracks that happened in the brand new road, vis-a-vis asphalt. Now you gotta think about stuff like this. Asphalt don't hold up worth crap in the state of Illinois. And it's an extra expense, and especially right now, oil prices are up. It's basically more expensive to use asphalt than it is concrete. Now, I'm not telling you which way to go, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of things in this that I absolutely know about that you should investigate. I mean, I might hate this freaking town, but I might get stuck being here for the rest of my life. And I told you, if I'm gonna leave this place, I'm damn well gonna leave it a better place. So I'm just saying, there's certain things that you guys can do to cut down, but you gotta think, how much maintenance is what's gonna hit you every time. Kind of like this building, yeah, you got it dirt cheap. Didn't keep up on the maintenance, now where's the maintenance at? To where you guys don't even wanna deal with it. Same difference. You're coming on another expense and you're not thinking about the long, big picture. That's all I
Thank
have
you.
to say. Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to still honor agreement between city and county.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second,
Second by Nate.
I have a question
Okay.
regarding the motion. If we approve this, does this mean that we're locked into costs, or did you say that we can still get out of it? If we don't lock out, it's gonna be over, if we don't lock out.
We can still get out.
That's what's wrong with this.
And we're just
I know,
saying,
but
Fred,
we
go
put a lot
ahead
of
and
things-
prepare the
That was-
agreement. We'll still have to ratify the agreement, right?
Basically says we're still with the program at the present time.
So this is just an agreement to move forward and just to lay out, like, just find out what it is that it's going to cost, what it's going to take, all that stuff, correct?
Yeah. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Opposed? Thank you.
That's all I got over old business, sir. And I have no new business this evening.
I have the declaration of local state of emergency, which could be the very last time, pursuant to the authority vested in the office of mayor by the Illinois Municipal Code, section 511-1-6, the Illinois Emergency Management Agency Act, section 330511, and ordinance 2020-06 of the city of Farmington. I, Kent Cole, mayor of the city of Farmington, do hereby declare that a local state of emergency exists as of this date, April 22, 2020, and shall continue until such time as provided in ordinance 2020-06, and that the nature of the emergency is a nationwide pandemic of the COVID-19 virus. And with that, committee report. David, anything further? Thank you very much for what you did so far. Thank you. Joey Boggs, Public Safety.
Nothing to report, sir.
Okay, thank you. Ken, on sewer and water.
Nothing further than the repair we had this last week.
Nate, on sidewalks.
Nothing to add.
And Chuck, on public grounds.
Nothing, sir.
Is there any other comments from the audience tonight? Yeah,
Nathan,
Yes.
before you were city councilman, how many times did I tell you that I came to city council and I complained about your little alleyway there? About all the holes and freaking people turning around and losing tie rods and stuff. Didn't take about 3 years until you got to be a city councilman, right? It was about the same time. And then they finally came out and they fixed that alleyway, right?
They have resurfaced it with the reference.
Right.
Last,
But it
but they
but
did
it
all
was
the
like
alleys.
3 years. I kept telling you. I keep telling them. Kind of like I'm coming out. I want rock. In my drive, I got 3 inches of water now that all this has melted because it passed down. I haven't asked for any rock since 2014. So I know you guys do it. He told me I have to wait until next spring. Well, what the hell is he doing tomorrow? I will move my trucks. I will move and I will put up little flags where I want all the rock because it all floods right there. Now, if you do it for everybody else, right? Why should I be any different? Why shouldn't I get that? Now, I asked for it all the way like last October, and he told me to wait until next spring. Why am I waiting? Because I damn well tell you, I wasn't gonna come here tonight until I had 4.5 feet of snow sitting up against my damn truck. See, I'm willing to play ball, but I'm not gonna play ball when I'm being messed with, and I don't give a shit what he says. That was, I got pictures of them coming 5 feet off the road into my office and pushing it right up on my freaking truck. If that ain't intentional, I don't know what is. Then it wasn't intentional for that Bobcat to drive through my yard last year and run over parts of my lawn. You know? But nobody ever does anything about anything around here. As far as I know, this guy's only on the tree service. He doesn't even have qualifications to read a damn blueprint. Last time I checked, he's running jobs, union jobs, that I actually worked on, and he's having non-union workers of the city, which is a violation of our union contract, cutting deals with union contractors to have city workers work for freaking whatever little wage that you charge them, which are supposed to get paid exactly what I get paid, and they weren't. They both told me. But yet, he wants to cut corners, save the city. But guess what? If I would have ever turned him in to the union, what would have happened? It'd have been all over the city like white on freaking rice. But I sat there like a good boy because I live here and kept my mouth shut. But that's the type of shit that I get to see. Did I ever see it again? Am I going to report it? Hell yeah. You guys need to start doing something. When I bring problems to you and you know that there's a problem there, you have to fix it. That's why everybody's pissed off. Because you don't fix the problems. You stick up for your buddies, you protect your buddies, but you don't protect us. Now, I expect that I'll have some new rock this week, and you can let me know 24 hours in advance, and I will move my trucks. I will have everything
Sure.
put out
If it's available, yes.
if it's available. So I got something to come back and bitch about in 2 more weeks.
I don't know how frozen the pile of gravel is.
It's not frozen tonight.
I'm not arguing with you, Mr. Kevlis.
I'm
I'll be
just
in
saying.
touch.
Ron,
I'll be in touch with you.
I told
I told you
you
that.
flat out the other day. I haven't been trying to pick a fight. But this is picking a fight.
We're not here to fight with you.
I'm just
I
saying.
would think you'd rather have that pile beside your truck than for them to have spread it all the way across both of your trucks where you had to drag both of them
Then
to
you
get
have
it
a
out.
bigger problem,
I'm just saying.
you know. It'd be a shame for freaking a bunch of nails to get spread across the entire road.
I'll be in touch with you, Mr. Kevlis.
Thank you. And you don't have, come on, Ron, I thought you would try to be straight. But if you don't want to be straight with me, I can go back to doing this.
I told you I will be in touch.
Okay, but I'm just saying. See, I like the way that you're talking. That's not aggressive. Okay,
There's no reason to be that way.
I know, and that's why I stood up for myself earlier. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other comments? Motion to adjourn.
So moved. Oh, yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I lose them. You wouldn't believe it.